Are you ready for another next up in Jorvik? Okay, that was something. Sure. Well, yeah, so this is the next up in Jorvik, the newest one. It came out 2 days ago. It is Saturday today, and yeah, I kind of forgot that there was another one coming out, this. Well, I don't know, exactly when it was gonna come out, but because, it can come out anytime between the Wednesday of the the late last one of the previous next up and the Wednesday of the next one. So yeah, I feel like they've been coming out typically on Thursdays lately. So, but sure thing. So yeah, and I kind of forgot because it's kind of just been so recent. There were only two for the last one, so it's been so short since the last one. Um, yeah, 2 weeks, right? Or maybe not even that, because I don't remember if I did it, on the exact date that it came out. Probably not. So yeah, so it's been 2 weeks or less since I did the last one. Um, but sure, sure. So this came out on July 16th, 2026. Ye to the hall! It's time for some rootin' tootin' Western fun. The Western Festival arrives on the 22nd of July. A new festival fairground for all players has opened up in Moorland. Oh, okay. Oh, alright. Some fan favorite activities, such as the high striker and crop growing, can be found there. Okay. I, I've never done that before, I think. Neither of them. Along with the Twisty Turny Fairground fundraise. Meanwhile, Carl welcomes all starters to the second festival hub over at Starshine Ranch, the usual one from previous years. We're gearing up to collect some gold and get our hands dirty around the ranch. The arrival of the Western Festival is not the only thing happening this week. We welcome our new Trailblazer track, Trail of the Headliner, and a much anticipated four-legged friend joins us. Welcome to the American Quarter Horse. Haven't we had the American Quarter before? Am I thinking of a completely different horse? I have no clue, honestly. I'm not really keeping track on what horses we've had before or not because it's there's just so many horses. But sure. But this one I kind of feel like I've heard about before and all. So, but yeah, again, I could be wrong. But sure. Who knows? Who knows? So, yeah, so unless it is just a new coat variation, I feel like we've had American quarters before, haven't we? Or is it another quarter that we had before and this is the American one? I don't know. Oh well. Bail Bonanza? Sure thing. July 29th. The ranch life never has peace and quiet. Festival visitors are struggling to get to Starshine Ranch due to hay bales blocking the way. Okay. But fair not. We're sure there are helpful cowboys and cowgirls on the ranch who can help us, right? That's us, right? I mean, it's always us doing stuff on Jorvik, so of course it is us. Um, but yeah, it would be kind of nice if they would sometimes find someone else to do this stuff, because I mean, I don't work here. I don't work anywhere on Jorvik. I don't know why these people keep on demanding that I do stuff for them, as if I do. But oh well. And I love how it's just like, but fair enough. I'm sure someone will do it. Looking at you over there. Yeah, I'll do it though, but like, oh well. This week we also welcome a Western team bazaar with the American Paint Horse. Maybe it's the American Paint Horse that I'm like thinking of, not the American Quarter. I thought we had a quarter before, but I could be wrong. The American Saddlebred, the Quarter Horse. Oh yeah, maybe it's just the Quarter Horse and it's not American. Who knows? And the Tennessee Walker. Heaps of hay, August 5th. And I feel like my voice is really deep today, so that's something. Racing around like a madman can make anyone hungry, and horses are no different. This week, we not only race through a wild hay race, but also ensure the horses of the ranch stay fine and fed. Speaking of horses, this week we welcome a permanent coat variation of the Jorvik mountain horse. Rowdy Renegades, August 12th. We're already into August with these updates. Gee, I feel like the year has kind of gone past so quickly. Um, like I kind of feel like yeah, like January was yesterday, and yeah, and I kind of don't mind days going by that quickly. It's just at the same time, like I wish that things would slow down a little. I feel like it's going a little quickly, but oh well. But oh well. I mean, like we're in the like middle of the 7th month. Um, we're closer to the next year than like the beginning of this one. Yeah. Um, time goes by. The Renegades have tried their hand at mischief, but it seems to have backfired. Yeah, who would have thought that it wouldn't? One does not simply contain the crazy animals they've kidnapped. Sure, the, sure, the Renegades might actually need some help at restoring their things. It may be the final week of the Western Festival and the Trail of Headliner. We also say hello to a new addition, a permanent Appaloosa coat variation. So yeah, like kind of like lots of horses. Is there horses every single one? Yeah. But yeah, lots of other things too. So I'm sure we will be busy for like, well, the rest of July and half of August pretty much. Right? So yeah. Oof, this is cute though. I love sunflowers. Um, so yeah. Yeah, I mean, 3 out of 4 pictures are horses. So, lots of horses, but I mean, sure. I mean, there's probably going to be so much to do, like, regardless. So, I mean, horses every single day. Like, it's a horse game, I know, but it's just like, yeah, a bit much in my opinion. But, like, I'm probably not even going to, like, notice because I'm not going to buy them. So, it's fine. It's just like, maybe we could have had like, one update where like a horse wasn't mentioned. I don't know. Cause and this is just because I feel like there's like enough already without like in all of this. So yeah. Yeah, like you could have saved like one of these horse updates like, for the week after this or something, but I'm sure there's gonna be one then as well. So 5 weeks of horses and summer camp. Sure, sure, sure. And then something new, like with the like at Moreland with the camp as well. It's part of the Western stuff there. I'm excited to see like the new stuff at Moreland because that's new. Um, I'm a little excited to like do this again because like it's not that old. We've had it for like 3 years, right, at this point. I think it's been 3 years. Or four, maybe. Like this one being the third or the fourth. Um, so yeah, so it's not like, that old for me yet. So yeah. And I'm also excited to see what's new though. So I feel like it's gonna be a good, well, month, I guess, since like, 4 weeks of updates. Um, and I kind of hope that it's not gonna be like, way too much to do. Because I'm still kind of tired from like, like very exhausted from the beach part of the summer festival. Because like, we just had a summer festival that was like, for 4 or 5 weeks or something for updates. And then there's another one. So yeah, there's just like so much happening in the summer. We have like kind of two festivals. I feel like it would have been like enough with kind of like one, or like maybe that it would have been like 2 weeks each or something, or like 2 weeks for one, 3 weeks for the other. Um, but yeah, it would be nice if it was just like, kind of combined. There was like 4 weeks with both of them. Um, that would be kind of nice, honestly. Because now it's just like, I feel like, like we just had like the other like summer festival last week, and now there's another one like in a few days. Like, yeah, I know it's been 2 weeks since like that ended, but still, like, I just feel like it's not enough time between. Like, I wish there was more time in between festivals. And I feel like it's good like for the rest of the year because it's like now we're gonna wait until Halloween before we have a new one after this one, and then we're gonna wait until like December sometime um, for the one like the Winter Village, and then like the spring, and then comes the summer with two festivals. And I guess Star Stable maybe does it because it's like summer vacation. A lot of people like aren't in school and at work and stuff at least for a little bit of time. So then, like people have more time to be on Star Stable, possibly at least. Um, some people also, of course, go on vacation, so have stuff to do. But yeah, but yeah. And not that I think that it will happen, but I kind of feel like it would be nice if it was possible to like pay Jorvik shillings or star coins to be able to like skip stuff. Like if you don't have the time or you just don't want to do the same things over and over, I'm in that boat. Um, Yeah, I would love to be able to just like pay to skip to do stuff because like it's nice to do like the same old like one, well, a little bit like once a year, like a few times maybe, and try out like everything that's new a couple times. But I'm not really interested in doing stuff more than that. So like doing like one race like once, twice, maybe 3 times a year. That's kind of like enough for me. So, yeah. And I'm not really like, interested in doing more than that. So, yeah. And I know there's probably going to be like, just so much to do. And we just had, like so much to do with the other summer festival, the beach festival. So, I hope that at least something is different. Either that is just like, gold that we need, um, and that it's like, you can just like technically just like, keep on going for hours seeking gold. But yeah, I kind of doubt it. So I kind of feel like it's gonna be like you have to be on for like at least 2 weeks, like 14 days, if not more, just to get all the prices and stuff. And I mean, I don't have any like plans, so like I do kind of have the time, but it's just like I have so much like fatigue with Star Stable at the moment, and I've been like having it for so long now. Because it's just like, yeah, I just kind of find Star Stable to be a little boring. I feel like most of the updates are just like the same old kinda. Like the festivals are for the most part just the same as every other year we've had them. Maybe like one or two new things to do. Um, like maybe a new race and maybe another like little thing to do that's new. And then like the rest of the year, it's like maybe some horses, maybe some quotes or tack. Um, have we even had a main story quest this year? I don't think we have. I'm just gonna open here and see like I'll do it in English then because it's easier. Um, okay, so this is just a calm week of I don't even know. I haven't looked through it yet, so I think it is just like maybe the market or something. Sorry, the bazaar, something like that. Then we have the like Style Brothers show, which is just yeah, like play dress up kinda. Which I mean, yeah, it's something new to do kinda, but it's like I mean, people have been like changing clothes since the beginning of Star Stable, right? So so yeah, I just don't feel like it's really much to do. Um, and also I don't really care for like playing dress up, so that too. But yeah, um, yeah, we can like just take a little peek at what. Yeah, bazaar, just the bazaar. So yeah, like you can buy horses, you can change your clothes. Then we had the beach festival with like I think we got two new races and that no, and we did get the like lazy river as well. I think that was it. That was new, right? Because the other things I think we've had like the previous year and possibly like other years too. Yeah, yeah. So we had like the in the dark race as I call it. I don't know what it's actually called. Um, that was okay, but just like it's just like a race. Nothing really special. You run, you jump. Mhm, mhm. So races really like isn't that much like kind of new, even though it's a new race. Like you don't really do anything new, kinda. If that makes sense, like you still like just run around jumping and stuff. So it's not really something new to do. Um, the shark race, even though it was really funny to be like riding a shark and everything, it is also like still just like not really running around, but like it's jumping, it's going around. So it's not like the mechanics aren't new. Yeah. So I love the like visuals of it. I mean, whoever like had that idea deserves like the biggest race ever because like that was so silly and fun. I love it. And the lazy river, like I didn't like the like collecting rubber duckies because like just because it was just like too many. If it would have been like five each round, that would have been fine. But since it was like so many more, I think it was 25 for each round, like each day. The thing is that like if you're gonna do something like maybe like up to five times in total, it's fine that it's like 25 things to collect. But if you're gonna do it like every single day for like weeks, it shouldn't be that like tedious kind of. Yeah, it shouldn't be that much because it's just draining, honestly, to me, anyways. So, but yeah, minus the like rubber duckies, I really like the lazy river, just like just lying and just like not doing anything. So I kind of wish that we would get like rewards for just doing the lazy river without the rubber duckies because that would have been nice. I want something that is just like no effort. You just like lie there and you get rewarded and you can just like keep doing it. That's the kind of stuff that I like. But yeah, I'm lazy, could you tell? So that's, like it for that, like it's not really anything new to do. Kind of at all, because like, sure, clicking on docs. It's not something we've done before, but we've been clicking on stuff before, turn around and clicking on stuff. That's not really like new mechanics. So, so it's just like it doesn't really feel like something new. And same with like even how silly and fun the shark race was and the other new one, but okay. It's still just a race. So it's not really like, something new to do. So yeah, like why I like new races because it looks different from the other ones. You do the same thing, but it looks different. So that's why, like I feel like I can do it a few times before it gets old. But yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, when we had a little quest line between like Tim and Ben. I remember his name now. I was like, it's not Ken. It's something like that, but it's not Ken. It's Beach Ken. So, Ben. I don't know if that's the intention, but like, yeah. And then we had another like of the dress up horses. Horses, I guess? Sure. Things to buy, you know? And sure, we had like, um, some like, match and golf things, and some like, kind of quest lines there. I haven't really done them yet. I have to. But yeah, I was thinking of doing that like, once I'm done and like have a bit of a break where there's nothing, and I actually, like I'm not so fatigued with Star Stable. So yeah, so when I have an opening for like, I don't have anything to do right now, but also like, at the same time, actually have the energy to be on Star Stable, that's when I'm gonna do those. So yeah, but that's just like, you have to do so much stuff, which is repetitive, before you can like, continue the story. So, yeah. We'll get back to March and Ghost and like, the dailies there, um, a little bit later, but it's just like, yeah, part of the reason why I haven't gotten there yet is just because I haven't been doing the dailies because I'm kind of bored of it. Sure, it's been a lot else, like with Star Stable as well. Plus, I was gone for like a while in May. Um, so I just really haven't had the time to do it because like I was gone for a while in May, went home because of some holidays and stuff. Um, and after, like getting home, we've had the beach festival. Yeah, and I'm still pretty tired from that. So, yeah, and then we had the spring festival, which like, I think there were only like one or two new things there as well, right? We had the, oh yeah, we had the like, silly stuff. We had the bouncy horses, which was so freaking slow. I'm not patient either, so that's fun. So it's like it's fun to watch other people do it, but doing it myself, I don't have the patience for that. And also, it's just another race, so it's not really like, any new mechanics for that either. Um, hmm So yeah, yeah, and the like the horse costume thing is, I mean, it's so silly, and I love silly. It's so fun. Um, but yeah, like again, yeah, it's another race, so it's not really like that different from like other things we've done before. Like, yeah, it looks different, but the mechanics are the same. Oh yeah, that's actually like an update. I thought that was a next up. It wasn't. Yeah, like horses, right? Something like that. I don't know. And then the same old. So yeah, so the bouncy horses, the horse costumes, that was new, but it was just like, races, which like, the mechanics are the same for all races. You jump, you run, that's it. So the visuals are different, but that's the only thing. Um, then we had the puzzles and ponies, which I mean, I thought that was kind of fun, the puzzles, but I wish there was more of it. And I also wish it was a bit more complex, honestly, because I love riddles, and this was like, kind of riddles, or it was riddles, some of them, I guess, or well, sure, we'll just call it riddles for now. So I mean, I love like puzzles like that and riddles and all that kind of stuff. So I wish there was more of it, really. Um, and also I kind of wish there was a point to it because it was just like, oh yeah, you open a door if you get it right. You can just try again if you don't, which I think is a good thing, okay? But yeah. Um, but yeah, it was just like you open a door if you get it right, and so there wasn't really like a point to it. I kind of wish it would have been like, more of a like kind of like a mystery thing of like figure out a mystery and you get a prize for it or something, like, and maybe something relating to the story. I don't know. So yeah, like I just feel like it was too little. Um, but yeah, and I hope to see more like puzzles in the future because that was really fun. Maybe like, one of the best things for this entire year, honestly. So yeah, then we had another bazaar, which is just like, buying stuff, um, buying stuff, right? No, the Trailblazer tracks. Well, and buying stuff actually. But yeah, and we've had like, the championship ranks and the like Trailblazer tracks, which I don't like either of them. And the reason why is because, like you're just doing the same thing over and over, um, like the same old things. So, and it's really just like, kind of another version of a shop, really, where like, you get points for doing stuff, championships or otherwise, and then you use those points as currency. So it's really just like, buying stuff with extra steps. Um, yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, since the stuff you have to do to be able to get the points is just like the same old. I'm just not really interested because, like, I was sick of those things like years ago, at least for some of it. So, yeah. And then Bazaar and tax system, which I guess the tax system is probably like, yeah, more horses can wear the tack. Which I think, like, I prefer actually like updates like that where it's like, system updates kind of, where it's like, things in game like, oh, more horses can wear the tack. Um, and little stuff like that. Because at least that feels like, it has a point other than just spend money, buy stuff that I don't care for. So, yeah. Yeah, and then, more of Marching Rust. Um, yeah. And we did, like, get Marching Rust this year, right? Or, mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's probably like, the best one, honestly, because like I prefer like, the exploring part of Star Stable. That's my favorite thing to do. So, yeah, getting a new area, that's like my favorite thing out of the years that we do get one. It's been a while now, and it's been, well, honestly, it's kind of been pretty bad since like 2017, honestly. And I feel like, like 2019, 2020, and 2021, I will make an exception for, kinda, because it's just like we didn't get anything in 2018, wasn't supposed to get anything in 2019, probably not 2020 or 2021 either, but we did get something. So I feel like, okay, we can excuse, like 2019, 2020, and 2021, even though I feel like they're like, a bit too small for like the area of the year. Still, okay, weren't supposed to get anything, we got something. But then, like when we didn't get anything in 2022 or 2023, um, or 2024, did we get anything in 2024, 2025? I don't know if we did. Like, I know we got like some updated old areas, but I don't know if we got any actually new ones. Right? No, sorry. In 2022 and 2023, we did get something, which was teeny tiny, and I forget about it all the time. We got the library in Fort Maria and then the Devil's Gap. One each year. Very disappointing in my opinion. And then we didn't get anything for 2024 and 2025. That's how it was. But yeah, so I mean, like, it's been so long since we had something like actually proper. So I was really happy about, like getting something, and I love the area and everything. Um, so yeah, and it's just like, I mean, sure, we've had like, well, have we really had anything kind of new happening there? That wasn't kind of added and planned from the beginning. Planned from the beginning, no. Um, that we could do from the very beginning, no. Because like we've had like, two updates now with like, you can continue. You can continue the story. So like, but yeah, like, the entire like, plan has been laid out already. So it's just like, you had to wait for a bit before you could unlock it if you'd done enough already. So yeah, and I mean, nothing wrong with that. It's just that, like, all the things that we can do, um, I'll just call it in March and Ghost, even though it's not just the castle. I mean, sure, doing it like, a few times, fine, but I have gotten pretty sick of it because it's just like it's too repetitive, doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over and over. To me, anyways. Some people might love repetition, but I've never liked it. So yeah, so it's just like doing it a few times is fine, but like I feel like Star Stable like continuously are just like just making things be a little too much. Like for every single festival, it's like it takes you literal weeks just to be able to like, get all the prices. And for this too, like it takes literal weeks of doing the same exact thing over and over and over and like I mean sure, doing the same thing like year after year, like once a year. Um like doing it again once a year a few times is fine, but like when it's like, you have to do it like 100 times or I don't know how many, every single year. Like it's just like, like kind of like yeah, like I would have been fine with doing it like, at most 5 times each year, and it doesn't even have to be that much. Like it doesn't have to be every single year, and it doesn't even have to be 5 times. It's just like give me some time to actually miss it. At this point, I'm just like, I'm too like, tired from last year. Um, so I'm not even missing it. I'm just like annoyed. Um, yeah. So yeah. And I mean, like, I love the creatures, but it's just like doing the same thing over and over, and like, I don't even feel like it's necessarily like, like the mechanics are that different from things we've done before. Um, like we have the hide and seek with the Mars or mares, I don't know. Sure thing. Those little flying cuties. And I mean like that's just like, looking for stuff and finding it, you know? Like we've done this with so many things before, so it's not a new mechanic. And then like, there are like, well, is there only one race? No, there's two. Just races, not new mechanics. Um, then we have, like some like, finding stuff, like picking mushrooms or whatever, like, like we've been running around picking up stuff since forever. It's not a new mechanic. Um, then we have the Voldemort, as I call it, because I don't remember the real name, Charlatan, which is just like, you need to stay close to it and then click it whenever the light goes out. So it's just like walking really slowly and clicking on something, which I mean, I don't have the patience to go that slowly. And the fact that you need to do it and then click every now and then, like, I mean, have we done something like that? Like the exact, like going really slowly and then clicking on stuff before? Maybe not. Maybe not actually, but like we have been clicking on stuff, we've been going slow probably before. And regardless, it's just like I'm not patient enough to go this slowly. So yeah. Oh yeah, and then we have like, the Blythe growth or whatever. That we're like, using the lance to get away, to break, I don't know, shatter, what it even is. That's just running. Running at something. Like, I mean, I've been running before. That's not something new. Oh, so yeah. So yeah, so it's like, the like guiding the poisoned what are they called? Nicuses? Um Nikai? I don't know. What would be the plural of that? It reminds me of like, some ancient Egyptian stuff because it's like it reminds me of a cross between like an alligator and like some sort of like canine, like a jackal maybe. So yeah, it feels very ancient Egyptian with that one. But yeah, I guess it's supposed to be like a mix between a wolf and a dragon, which like yeah, that is kind of like scaly creature and canine, mix. Just not the ones that I thought of. But yeah, it's like if you do wolf and dragon apparently, or you do alligator and canine, sorry, jackal. That's still a canine, but yeah, jackal in specific. I feel like you kind of get the same look because jackals, I feel, typically have long ears, which apparently dragons do too. Mm-hmm. And it's very crocky, but like I mean, dragony, I guess too. So yeah, scaly creature, canine. And I mean, again, I love the creatures. It's just like, you click on a creature, you run with it for a bit, and sure, you gotta click in between and all, and make sure that you don't run out of light, but it's not really too exciting. It's just like, click on stuff, run, make sure you don't run out of light. So yeah, so like I did really appreciate the puzzles that we got and the new area, but apart from that, like it's not really been much that is like, a new mechanic, yeah. um, or something that I feel like is that exciting to do like over and over and over. Like sure, I'll try anything new, like at least once, maybe a few more times. Um, but yeah, like once I've done it a few times, like I'm kind of done with it, and I don't really want to do it again. So the fact that Star Stable is like it feels like at least constantly like doing the same thing over and over. Not my cup of tea. And it's not like this is like the first time Star Stable have been like this. It's just I feel like over the years it's gotten worse. With that, it's like it feels like constantly it's like either buy something or do the same thing over and over and over until you yeah just like don't want to play anymore, I guess. Because like I feel like back in the day it was like you do the same thing just for the festivals. That I didn't feel like were that long back then, and also we didn't have two summer festivals, right? We had one. Um, so yeah, and also even then, I don't feel like it was like that much that we had to do maybe. So I feel like it's maybe more to do now than back then. I don't know though. It could just be that it's been so long that I don't even remember. But oh well. And sure, it could also be that, like I am kind of so sick of Star Stable and so fatigued with Star Stable these days. So it's like, everything kind of just feels like a chore already. And then when on top of that, like, I'm doing things that I don't really enjoy, it just turns into something bad. I don't know. But yeah, and I mean, like, I used to, like, just, like, back in the day, like, I don't know, a decade ago, maybe. It's been a long time, I know. Well, yeah, maybe not exactly a decade ago, because I don't know if I played Star Stable then. No, I probably did, but I don't know if I played that much back like that long ago. But yeah, like about a decade ago, I would sometimes just log into Star Stable and just run around, not really doing anything. Like sometimes, like in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep, I would just log into Star Stable and just ride around, not really doing anything but riding around or just exploring Star Stable and Jorvik. But yeah, like I mean, I've seen everything so many times, so it's like there's nothing left to explore. There's nothing left to see. That is, like actually possible to see though, yeah. So yeah, so it's just like there's not really much left to do. And the things that, like we do get to do are just like the same old things for the most part. So it's not really even like that fun. Like yeah, I have a day of like, exploring a new area. If there's a new area for the year. But that's like, one day out of the year. Then maybe there's some other things to do here and there that are new. But for the most part, it's just like, doing the same old, and I'm not really interested. So I kind of wish that it was possible to just like, pay to skip stuff. Um, so yeah, so that I could just like, like with the beach festival, like, instead of like doing stuff to get points, I could just like buy points. Like maybe there could be like, a pirate shop like, next to it where it would be like, oh, you don't want to do this stuff or you don't have the time. Here you can buy some points so you can just skip doing stuff. So yeah, maybe like, that you could exchange like, summer tokens for it, or pay with like, your fixed shillings or star coins. Cause yeah, like I don't really care for like, any of the items, well, most of the items. Well, do I actually care for any of them? For the most part, no. So like the only reasons I'm like typically buying something is either because I just have too much money and don't have anything to spend it on, and I kind of want to still be getting money for the things I do. Because I'm like, I want to feel like it's at least worth it to do the stuff, yeah. hmm So yeah. Or if there's something, like that expires, then I'll also buy stuff. Um, and like I really appreciate when there's nothing that expires, 'cause like that's nice. Having forever to buy something is my favorite amount of time. Um, but yeah, so I kind of wish there were like, more exciting things to spend money on. So yeah, like if it was possible to, like just like pay to skip stuff, for the people who either don't have time to do everything or just aren't interested in doing the same thing over and over. That would be nice because I sometimes still want the prices, and I kind of also just want everything like that's possible to get. Um, to like just have it. I don't necessarily care so much for the item itself. It's just I kind of just want to have it. So yeah, yeah. So yeah, I want to have it, but I don't really care for the item itself. Um, for the most part, anyway. Some things I really do like, but yeah. So it would be nice to be able to just like, yeah, be able to get the stuff without having to put in the work. That would be nice. So yeah. And I have kind of been contemplating also to just like do a video to like, show, okay, these are the prices that you could get, and then leave it at that, and just not get it unless I really want it, maybe. But like, if I'm not interested really in the stuff, maybe just skipping it and just like showing on a camera that like this is what you can get. That's what I've been doing for the like Trailblazer and champion rank thingies. So yeah, because I'm just like, and of course, like with the Trailblazer track, you can buy it later, so that's fine. But with the like champion rank bows, you can't buy those later, to my knowledge, anyways. Um, and yeah, I've just started like showing it like this is what you can get. I'm not gonna try to get it, but this is what's possible. So that I just have it in a video, like the designs of stuff. But yeah. And like, like I guess it's just me being fatigued with a lot of stuff and just like kind of finding it to be very boring. Um, and I've started being like, if I'm not interested in watching it, I'll just maybe save it for later, but I'm not gonna watch it now at least. Um, so yeah, and sometimes like I can watch stuff like say like playthrough of a game over and over and over. Like some games are genuinely like interesting to watch again. And sure, maybe I'll like, be on my phone and play a game or something. Um, do something else like and just have it in the background. Um, but sometimes it's like, there are different routes you can take, different things you can experience. Um, or maybe like, you want to, or maybe like, there's like lore and some things you might have missed the first time around. So like there are things that are genuinely like, fun to do over and over, but yeah, some things are not. And for some stuff I'm just like, okay, I'll just like save it for later. Um, but yeah. And sometimes it's just like, yeah, I just want to be done with it really. Um, so right now I'm watching like part three. I've watched like an entire one that was like, I don't know how many hours, but yeah, a couple of hours. And this is part three. This one is a 1.5 hour um, of House of Ashes. It's all posted by the same creator as well, Gab Smolders, so same person, same game. And honestly, I feel like House of Ashes is probably the one I like the least. And like as a kid, I was obsessed with vampires, so like I would have thought that this one was like, maybe the one that I liked the most. But it's just like, I mean, And I think it is kind of interesting. It's just I don't feel like there is really necessarily much lore to it. I feel like it's very straightforward, honestly. So yeah. So it's kind of like, yeah, I would love to be able to like see the different, like, that can happen and everything, but it's just, yeah, this one I find a little boring, honestly. Um, and I've been watching like so many like different ones of like these games where it's like from the same studio that is like, you can make different decisions and that has different outcomes. So like we have Until Dawn, which is like probably the most famous ones of these, I guess. I don't know. Um, I haven't watched that in a while, right? Or did I watch it just the other day? I don't remember, but I don't think I watched it the other day. I think that's been a while. Been a while. I watched the Quarry yesterday, I think, or earlier today, or maybe I like finished it earlier. No, I don't think I finished it yet. Right, right. I think I was meant to finish it, and then I was like, just right. As I haven't finished that yet. I'm excited to finish that, but I'm just like in the middle of something. Um, yeah, did I start watching House of Ashes today? I think I did. I think I forgot that I was in the middle of something, but oh well. Sure, sure, sure. I've got some memory issues, so I like struggle sometimes to remember things. But oh well. There's just like this one, and then the ending, I think, left. So it's like maybe at most 3 hours left or something. I don't know. And yeah, that's a while, but still. So yeah. I mean, I might just like, kind of like end this here and like, re like watch it later, and finish up later, but we'll see what I'll do. We'll see. But yeah. And I watched like the prequel to Until Dawn a bit ago, but I don't remember what it's called, so yeah. Probably the least famous of them all. And I've been watching like different ones of this like series that is like Dark Pictures, that series, which House of Ashes is part of. I think this is like the third of them. First one being Man of Medan, um, which I mean, I don't know if I find that to be the scariest or if it's just the first one I watched, so I was like, so now I'm more desensitized to like, these kind of things. Um, and sure, I will still jump at jump scares because I mean, even if it was like, the fluffiest horse, I would just jump at the jump scare. I think it is a little bit just because it's like, it's building up to like, oh, something scary is coming, something is gonna happen, and then it's like, so loud and it's like jumping at you. Um, I mean, a jump scare, duh. But yeah, so it's not really necessarily like very scary. It's just I do jump, like at it. So, yeah. And I also don't like that like the sound effects are always so loud with things. Like I feel like the voices are way too like, low volume and I can barely hear it if at all. And then like, then like sound effects for like especially jump scares are just so loud. It's like, like I get that it's supposed to be like, scaring you and all, and it's like, oh, loud noise to scare you, but it just annoys me. Like the loud noise doesn't scare me, it just annoys me. And it's like I want to have it like, loud enough to hear what is actually being said, but I don't want it to be like, so loud for any sound effects or music. So yeah, like I wish the talking would be the loudest part. Um, so I could actually like, hear what is being said. Because yeah, it's just like, like it just all of a sudden being like deafening sound. It's just annoying. Like it's not scary that it's loud. Um, like what is scary is something jumping at the screen, not the sound, you know? Um, I mean, sure, sometimes sound can like, be like it can like, make you jump as well, but it's just like stop being so loud. Gee. Like I don't even like sound that much. Like I like for the volume to be pretty low. So then when it's like, either I can't hear what they're saying, which like that's annoying, or it's gonna be too loud at times. Yeah, pick your poison, I guess. But oh well. And then it was Little Hope, which I think is honestly mostly just sad. Like it's not really super scary. And yeah, I might be like kind of desensitized to these things now, so that might be partially it. Watched Man of Medan so many times that it's kind of like, yeah, desensitized me a bit, I guess, from even that one. 'Cause yeah, like at some point you know where all the jump scares are, so it's just like it's not necessarily so bad anymore. And like sometimes jump scares just don't get to me. It's like, okay, that's not even scary. Um, and sometimes it's the person like playing the game that scares me, not the jump scare. So it's just like them getting scared is what scares me, not the jump scare itself. It's nice. Lovely that we can do that distribution. Like the jump scare scares them and they scare me. Woo! No, but it's kind of fun though when it's like, just like the jump scare itself isn't scary. It's the person getting scared that like, gets me jumpy. But sure. And yeah, I think this House of Ashes is the third one. And then we have the what is it called? I can only remember Murder House, which is not the name of it. No, like the Sherlock Holmes one, not the Sherlock Holmes one, the H. Holmes one. J, wrong person too. That's nice. Yeah, the H. Holmes one. Honestly, that's something that is like, I guess like kind of like it's not that it's like, jump scares that are like, I mean, sure, I guess there's some, but it's not really like that much of like jump scares that are scary about that. It's just the thought of like being lured to like, a place and then kind of being hunted down, if you will. Um, because that's like, like that's actually like, not like, very likely to happen, but it's like serial killers do exist, like this is literally based on, like a serial killer. So it's just like serial killers are real. They can hurt you. Very unlikely to, but you get what I mean. Like, so it's just like, yeah, it's just like, kind of hits a bit too close to home with like, and it's literally like, kind of in a home too, you know? Murder house. hmm Yeah, I don't remember what that's actually called. Because it has nothing, like, it doesn't have the word house in it, I guess. Oof. No, I don't remember the name. But yeah, like, that's like, kind of like a serial killer one. Um, which is like, I mean, yeah, it's scary to like, feel haunted and like serial killers are scary and actually real. So that scares me in that kind of way. It's more like, I guess psychological horror than anything. And it's like, a mix of like, the classics of like, Friday the 13th. Is that the name or is it Halloween or is that two different ones? I don't know. But yeah, it's that, like classic, like, serial killer one, from all of the like horror movies. It's a mix of not Jaws, Jigsaw. Close enough, I guess. So yeah, so it's like, it's giving very much, like those kind of things. Um, so yeah, so it's giving, like serial killer. Um, honestly. And yeah, that's like, kind of like, yeah, it's more of a like psychological horror, I guess, because it's like being trapped, being hunted. That's scary. Whereas like House of Ashes is like vampires from outer space. Which I thought that was aliens, but okay. If you don't want to say vampires, then sure. And it's also like, so far away, like in a cave, like I'm not going far away into a cave. So like I'm good with that one. Space vampires aren't really can't hurt you. Um yeah. And then Little Hope, like, well, there are monsters. The real monsters are human in real life too. And I mean, it's spoilers. Sorry that I'm too late with that, but yeah. But like, Little Hope, that is like, someone's grief, like making them hallucinate. So it's like the monsters aren't even real, except for the first one. So yeah, so it's just like, a guy dealing with guilt and grief. And yeah, I was telling the truth when I said that like the real monsters in that is human, because like there's one monster throughout all of this. I'm not gonna say who, but yeah, and yeah, like that's the only monster here really. Like those monsters aren't even real. It's more so sad for that one. And I haven't gotten any further than Murder House, so but there are more. I think there's like eight in total or something. Um, so yeah. Started watching the Korean instead, which is not the same like series. Um, but yeah, and that's like Werewolves and Until Dawn is Wendigos, and also the prequel is also Wendigos because it's like the same kind of, just like continuing the story. So yeah, like Werewolves and Wendigos, while scary, it's just like they're not real, they can't hurt you. So yeah. And like, I mean, like, vampires, werewolves. I hadn't heard about Wendigos when I was a kid, but still, like, I used to love those as a kid. Um, like, I love creatures like that, and like, hmm So, not that I feel like the space vampires are very much like, vampire. Um, it has the like, allergic to sunlight aspect of it, and also, like, that you can turn into a vampire. I don't know if it's like if you get bitten or scratched or whatever. So it has those two, but I feel like that's the only like vampire of it really. Um, So I was just like, when I first heard like, oh, these are vampires, I was like, are they though? Are they though? Okay, sure. Then I heard that they were like space vampires, and I'm like, I think that's just aliens, but okay. Sure. So yeah. Um, yeah, like Man of Medan. Hallucinogenics. Literal like hallucinogenic gas. So yeah, it's just like, it's just like saying stuff that isn't there. Which is scary. I mean like hallucinating is actually real and very scary. But it's just like, yeah, you're not necessarily going to hallucinate monsters. So, sometimes you hallucinate fun stuff. Don't try hallucinogenics. Um, it's not always fun, and yeah, it's potentially very dangerous. I mean, all of the like, well, not all of the people, but lots of people from Man of Medan died. So like, if you don't want to die, don't try hallucinogenics. No, but like seriously though, like that is actually real. So like, it is scary because it is real. Um, and that makes it a little bit more scary. Not because the monsters themselves are real, but because like hallucinogenics are real. So like, this could potentially happen in real life. Um, so yeah. So yeah, I guess it's like, also more psychological horror with that one. Like it's not really like a creature, it's more like, kind of mental. Which I honestly think is scarier than some creature hunting you. Like, yeah, that's scary too, but it's just like, sure, the most creature might look creepy and stuff, but it's just like, oh well. Um, you know? Like then it's at least like, okay, yeah, you can escape the creature, you can kill the creature. When it's your own mind, like you can't escape your own mind. So that's very scary. Um, and like sure, when it's like, a serial killer, like you can escape that one, but it's still like, like you can't kill the murder house. And apparently you can't kill the serial killer either, so that's something, but lovely. But yeah. But yeah, so like the first two are like, just your mind doing stuff. Sure, maybe like, under the influence of something. Um, but that's like, just mind games, really. Just your mind doing stuff. Um, and then there's some creatures here and there. If you consider a serial killer a creature, then that's a creature too. I mean, since it can't die, I guess that must be some kind of creature then. Don't know what, but But yeah, so I think that House of Ashes is maybe the like most boring, in my opinion, because it's like space vampires or aliens or something. I don't even know. And I love the designs of them. They look kind of cool and stuff. Not really that scary. I'm sure something like, hunting you and stalking you and shit it is a little bit scary, but it's just like it just feels like, kind of so far removed. Um, so yeah, and I guess it's also like, like a military operation is like you have weapons with you, so you actually have something to fight these creatures. Sure, it might not work, but at least you got some weapons, some protection. And I feel like it's just maybe like a little too far from like, me and my life, like military being stationed somewhere, space vampires. It just feels like, like too like unrealistic. Um, you know, like a murder house, like that's literally, and serial killers, that's literally something that happened in real life. H. Holmes was a real guy. Yeah. Dealing with grief and other stuff, like guilt, hallucinations, which is arguably like both House of Medan, no, Man of Medan, and Little Hope. That's like, yeah, like you're hallucinating stuff, which is real and very scary, or at least can be. So yeah, and it's just like a small town, kind of ghost town in a way. That's real. That's like these things are things that like do exist out there. Um, Ships do exist, and I'm not too fond of like water, like at least the sea, the ocean, and ships and stuff. Um, like we've explored so little of the ocean and water. A little bit because it's not quite an element. We can't breathe out there, like underwater. And we don't even have like, any, well, we don't necessarily have any like, um, vehicles, if you will, that can, like necessarily go that far deep in some places, with humans at least, not necessarily without either. Um, so yeah, so it's just like the ocean is largely unexplored. Um, yeah, I think I'm uneasy about that. Um, and not like, beaches and stuff necessarily. Like, I don't like the beach, but that's the sand for the most part. It's not like the creatures either. That's their habitat, mine is on land. Thank you very much. But yeah. Yeah, so like I would never step foot on that like ship. Like sure, it's like, a ghost ship and everything and like it's cursed. Let's just call it cursed. It's not really though, but yeah. Oof. But like even without all of that, if it was just like a normal boat and stuff, like I still don't know. No, no, I'll stay on land, thank you. I prefer that. So yeah. And like Until Dawn and all that is like, I mean, it's a sanatorium, someone's like cabin or whatever, vacation home, sure. Um, and I think maybe a hotel somewhere in there. So it's like, sure, like being at a hotel, like that's a thing, but it's like nobody's staying at a hotel. So it's like they're staying at a cabin away from everything. Which, like, I mean, I like being alone, but like, that's a bit extreme. You know, like without necessarily a way to get back. Uh, no, I prefer to have like a bit of an escape route. That's nice. So yeah. So yeah, and it's also like it's also abandoned, and that's like the bad part of it, kind of. Um, hmm So far away from everything and everyone. And I mean, the quarry is just summer camp. Well, once the camp has ended, kind of. So, hmm. And honestly, with the quarry, like I was just immediately like, it's gotta be werewolves. It's gonna be werewolves. I just know it's werewolves. Um, and it was. And like before it was revealed, I was like, oh, that's the mom. That's the mom. Oof. You know what? I'll just spoil it. The curator for the quarry is the mom of the original werewolf. I was like, oh, okay. I get it now. It took me a while to figure that one out, but like I realized it before it was made, before it was revealed. So yeah. Yeah, and I haven't finished it yet, but like I mean like I've been to like, camp, but like, actually in the summer and like school camp. Um School camp was like a week, which well, summer camp was just a week for me. So yeah. And there were no werewolves there or anything like that. But also like, technically there's no werewolves at camp. So it's just like, when everyone, well, mostly everyone have left. And I feel like that's kind of just like you being stupid in a way. Um, so yeah. Because it's just like, I mean, if they would have just like, locked up and stayed inside, they probably would have been fine. Um, but since they were deciding to like, stay out and everything, it's just like, I was just like, from the moment they were just like deciding to not lock up inside, I was just like, are you all gonna die? Please don't. Please just stay inside. You're being told to for a very good reason. There are werewolves out there. Yeah. And I didn't know immediately that like well, one of the werewolves was a werewolf. I was just like, oh, you're trying to save yourself? Damn. But Gab actually was like, he's a werewolf, isn't he? Yep. Good call. Um, good call. So yeah, and I'm just kind of like, screaming internally, be like, no, 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 don't do that. That's so stupid. Well, at the characters, not all of it is like, you can actually make a choice. Um, so yeah, and like, yeah, but typically like, does different, like several playthroughs where she tries different things. So it's like sometimes it's like intentional, like let's kill everybody. That's actually kind of fun when it's like you're really trying. But sometimes it's hard. So like sometimes you have to plan things thoroughly to be able to do it. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. And it's just to see like, the different like, things that can happen. So, yeah. She also typically does one where she saves everyone. That's fun. But yeah. Yeah. And it's like sometimes you know that like that's a bad idea, but it's like people are forced to do it anyways, and it's like, okay, I guess we're doing something stupid then, game. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like sometimes it's just like you made a stupid decision and that's why this happened. Like one stupid decision was made and that's why we're fucked. Nice. So yeah, that's lovely, ain't it? But yeah, it is fun though. It's fun to watch. And I stayed up a little too much, a little too late yesterday. Um, watching the Quarry. Didn't even finish it, but yeah. I didn't sleep too long, so I'm kind of sleepy, but I'm thinking I'll just like, sit up, eat and drink some more, relax and all. So yeah, I was gonna cook at a specific time. That's why I woke up like, and didn't sleep too long. So yeah. So like I had hot dogs first thing. Um, so kind of like for breakfast, I guess. And then I've been having just like some ready meals. First I had some pasta, like pasta bolognese, pretty much. Um, and now I've been having some like I'm honestly not entirely sure what it is called. Yeah, it's some Indian dish with like this one has like chickpeas and potatoes in it. Some like orange sauce. I don't know if it's like I mean it's not buttered chicken because it's not chicken. Yeah, I don't think it is chana masala. You know what? I have it on my phone. What I ordered, so I can check it out. Actually, I ordered my groceries, so yeah, buttered chickpeas. That's what it's called. I was just like a little confused about what it's called because like I think it's in Indian like chana. Maybe I mispronounced that, sorry. But yeah, I think that's like chickpeas. So I thought it was that, but then it's just like that doesn't quite sound right. But yeah, so buttered chickpeas. So essentially like buttered chicken, just vegetarian. It's pretty good. So yeah, and it just needed to like be heated up, all of it really. Well, the hot dogs need to be cooked, but yeah. So yeah, I still have some of the butter chickpeas left, so I'm gonna eat some of that. And then tomorrow, like, I'm thinking I'm gonna wake up like, well, I don't really have to wake up until like kind of late because I don't really have any plans until like, well, a little after 5, around 5. Well, yeah, around 5 is when I should start getting ready. My parents are coming over for dinner. We're gonna have pizza. I'm just gonna order some pizza. I already ordered it, so yeah. Um, yeah, so we're just gonna have some pizza. So that's fun, and that's kind of my only like Well, I'm gonna turn on the dishwasher, so I need to load it. I did it load today, so and I've unloaded that, so I'm just gonna need to load it and then turn it on, and then dinner with my parents. um, so yeah. And that's like my plans for the rest of the week. Tomorrow is Sunday, so not that much longer of it. And then next week I'm gonna order some more groceries. And that's kind of my only plans. I guess for the rest of the month. I might do like some laundry or some dishes or some here and there, but like apart from that, and I might do some videos as well. But yeah, but like normal stuff aside from that. So yeah, yeah, yeah. And then before the Machengast opened, the Machengast actually, sure. Before that, it was just time to relax. I don't know if we went fishing or if we just like sat on the dock or whatever. But sure, just go over to some place, maybe fish some. I don't remember if we went fishing even, but sure. And then Trailblazer track. Yeah, and then we had like a little landslide quest, if you will, like a teeny tiny quest, where it was like, there's a landslide by Machengast. I wonder if that's gonna open soon. It did. And Bazaar. So, yeah, then we had like, some horses. Yeah, and then Winter Village wrap up. So, yeah, which is just like nothing new. Nothing happened for that one. That's just like, the last week of the festival. It's like, in case you miss something, you have a little bit more time. So, yeah, so we haven't had a main story quest yet, which, we're not going to have for, well, the rest of July and not for the first 2 weeks of August. We've had some quests, but not any main story ones. And yeah, for the most part, it's been like, buying horses, possibly other things, and repetition. So not really like, that special. Yeah. And I mean, it's not going to be so much like, new kind of for this festival either, like a thing or two, I would say, probably. So, for the most part, like, same old. So, yeah. And the same is going to be for the other, like, festivals throughout the year. So, yeah, like, maybe a new thing or two. And then there's going to be, like, some clothes and tack and horses here and there. Maybe a main story quest at some point. Like, we don't really, like, have that much left of the year, like, after this, because this is, like, till the 12th. So we only have then, like 2 more weeks of August, which probably something to buy right after. So then we have like 1 week left of August. I'm sure we have like, 5 weeks of September. Don't know if they're going to do anything special then. And then, like, let's just say that all of October is like Halloween, even though it's probably not going to be like, it's probably going to be like half of October, half of November, but yeah. Let's just pretend October is Halloween, and we have like 4 for November, so that's 10, and then maybe like 1 or 2 for December before the Winter Village. So yeah, so we have like 10 to 12 updates um, that are not going to be festivals. Um, yeah, well, at least at most 12. They're not going to be festivals, and like the ones before and after festivals, which so like after this summer festival, um, before the winter festival, and before and after Halloween, so 4, or probably just gonna be like buying stuff, something small. Um, mhm. So that leaves 8, and then we're probably going to get like some other small updates there, which like maybe like Trailblazer track without anything else, or 2. Um, Maybe the bazaar, just the bazaar. So yeah, so we're probably gonna get like, more like things to buy. Um, and I doubt that we're gonna get like six big things, or not necessarily even big things, but like six things to do. Um, Outside of the festivals. So yeah, maybe like one main story quest, maybe one other quest, um, maybe a race, maybe an updated old area. Maybe a little quest line. I don't know, but I don't feel like the rest of the year is gonna be like that exciting. So yeah. Cause yeah, it's like, we have like, so much time left before. And it's like nothing has happened. Like I was just like, oh, there's still like, time for a main story quest or, like a brand new area because we have all of November. That's something I said like last year. And then nothing happened for November or something. Or at least none of those. So, so yes, it's like, sure, we might have, like up to like eight things that could technically be something. But I feel like most of those are just going to be like smaller things to buy. So, sure, we might have like one main story quest, but I doubt we're going to get two. So, yeah, maybe we'll get some stuff with March and Gus though. Some continuation there or something. Maybe something new to do. I don't know. Like some new dailies. Wow, my voice is really cracking. I've been talking for a bit long today. I guess. And also, like, it's been, like, so shifting with the weather. Like, there's been some really warm days lately. Like, it's been, like, above 30 degrees Celsius. Slightly above, but still, like, in the low 30s, but still way too high, in my opinion. I don't really like it above 17 degrees Celsius, so that's something. And it's been, like, almost double. And sure, it is, like, at the highest, but it hasn't really been that low. Maybe at, like, only around 16 at the lowest. So I haven't been too happy about that. And yesterday I just couldn't like cool down at all. Um, so still like so warm even when I like went to bed. Oof, that was awful. And I had my windows open and like a fan on and everything. So that wasn't fun. Um, and today like it's been much colder. The coldest day in like so long. I think the highest was maybe like, yeah, 17 or below. Now it's like 11 degrees and thunder. I haven't really heard any of the thunder today, but like last night, well, the nights until today, I guess. So yeah, like around midnight, maybe a little after. Nah, it was probably like closer to like 3, 4 a.m. or something. Then it was thundery, but I haven't heard any today. Yeah, I think my window next to me has like closed itself, so it's windy out. I'm gonna open it again, but I was just thinking like while I'm doing the video, I'll just keep it closed. So yeah, yeah, and yeah, like tomorrow I'm just gonna like um, load the dishwasher, turn it on, and get ready for when my parents get here, and then yeah, eat pizza. Pretty chill, but yeah, it's nice to have some chill days too. And the like weather reports it's going like says that it's gonna be like much lower degrees going forward, with today being the lowest, but it's gonna be in like, the low 20s or lower, so that's nice. That's nice. So yeah, so I mean, it might already start getting a little colder. Like here we have like, maybe a couple weeks when it's like, in the mid to high 20s and low 30s, as the highest degrees. And that's kind of it throughout the entire year. And then sure, it might be like, in the like below 25 degrees, some days, um, like some days in May, June, August, maybe September, also July. But yeah. um, but yeah, that's kind of it for warm weather. And then for the rest of the year, like it is typically like, 17 degrees or lower, so yeah. So that's kind of nice. And today I've actually been using like a blanket a bit here and there because it's kind of cold. But I'd rather it be like a little too cold in here than a little too warm. So yeah, like I've been having my fan on like so much lately, and I've been having like I have this spray bottle just with water. I've been filling up like I filled it up so much yesterday because I would like run out of water because it was so warm and I just could not cool down. Yeah. And I have like this cooling towel around my shoulders, well, around my neck, I guess. And I have a bucket with water that I can put my feet in, to try to cool down a bit. It's been working like the other days, but yesterday I guess it was like, I don't know, just too bad. I don't know what I did yesterday. No, I don't know if I did. Was yesterday the day that I was like, going through stuff and organizing a bit? Maybe it was. Yeah, like my body isn't really good at like lowering the temperature. So like if I get too warm, I just stay too warm. That kind of sucks, but sure, sure. So yeah, I prefer the cold to the heat. Because at least like, when it's cold, I can just like put on some more clothes or put a blanket around my shoulders or something. Um, like there are things that I can do if I'm cold. But there are not necessarily things I can do to cool down. So yeah. Or at least like, it's gonna take some time before I actually cool down. And I don't like heat, so I don't like being warm. So like being cold, like yeah, it's not too pleasant, but at least then like I can just like wrap myself up, and it takes like just like seconds or minutes before I'm warmer again. Um, Whereas like the other way around, if I'm too warm, I might not be able to cool down at all. Like yeah, yeah. And I know that like, I just have a fan, not like an air conditioner or something that like actually cools the temperature in the room. I should probably get that, but yeah. But yeah, it's also like then again, like it's just like we've had like 3 weeks here. I know all of it has been like, the same like degrees either like but yeah, like it's been maybe like 3 weeks where like some of the days have been like, in the mid to high 20s or in the low 30s. Most of it being in the 20s. But yeah. So yeah, so we've had like, less than a week in the low 30s. Um, and then, like I guess at most 2 weeks in the mid to high 20s. So yeah. So it doesn't really get too warm or for too long. It's like, a couple days out of the year. And then for the rest of the year, it's like, yeah, in the lower 20s or below. So yeah, so like it makes more sense to have like, some heating than cooling alternatives, really. Not that I use heating too much either, like, and for the most part, like, I use heating so that, like, the water pipes won't burst and stuff. Not really necessarily for me. Um, so yeah, and I don't have it on that high typically either. So it's just like a little bit of heat in the dead of winter. I have some heat on in the bathroom at all times. I don't know how to adjust it, so this has been really warm lately. Like on the warmest days, like it's too much. I thought it was 8 degrees Celsius, but like it just says 8. I don't know what that means. I don't like it. It's too much. But yeah, it's nice in the like dead of winter when I'm like frozen. But the rest of the year, eh. I kind of like the bathroom I had like where I rented more, like the heating option there, because there I just had like a regular like oven for heating up the room, and I would just have it off minus the dead of the winter, because I was just too warm, and even then like I wouldn't always like put it on. So I guess I need to figure out like the system and just turn down the heat at least in the when it's really warm. Cause yeah, like I mean, being a little warm to begin with, cause it's just warm, and then having it be warm in the bathroom, oof, evil. But sure, long video. I hope you liked it though. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and watch my other videos. I hope to see you later. Stay crazy. Bye.